I first heard the scratching inside Unit 47 on a night when the wind was dead and the whole storage yard felt frozen in place. It wasn't the sound of an animal. It wasn't the sound of a person either. It was something slow, deliberate, and it knew I was listening. I should have walked away right then, but I didn't, and that mistake still follows me every night. My name is Ryan, and 2 years ago I worked the night shift at a storage facility just outside town. One of those big places with long metal hallways, flickering lights, and rows of identical doors stretching into darkness. People stored everything there: furniture, boxes, tools, even old cars. Most nights were quiet. I'd sit in the office, drink cheap coffee, and do rounds every hour. Simple job. Boring job. Until Unit 47 ruined everything. The unit had been rented for years. Same name on the file. M. Dunford. Paid on time. Never visited. Nobody thought much about it. But something about that unit always felt wrong. Like the air around it was heavier, colder, too still. I told myself it was just my imagination. But the night the noises started, I realized something was hiding behind that metal door. It began with the scratching. Soft at first, like nails dragging lightly across metal. I heard it during my rounds around 2 a.m. The hallway was empty, cold, silent. My flashlight beam shook slightly as I walked toward Unit 47. The scratching stopped the moment I got close, like whatever made it was holding its breath. I stood there, listening. Nothing. Just the hum of the old fluorescent lights overhead. But when I turned to leave, the scratching came back, louder, faster, almost excited. My stomach tightened. Something inside that unit knew my steps, knew when I was close, knew when I was walking away. I scanned the lock, still sealed, untouched. No sign that anyone or anything had entered. I told myself it must be a raccoon or some stray cat trapped inside, but the building was sealed, no windows, no vents big enough for something to crawl through. Still, I wrote it in the logbook. Strange noise coming from Unit 47. Possible animal. But that was only the beginning. The next night, the scratching changed. It wasn't random anymore. It was patterned, rhythmic, almost like knocking. 3 slow taps. Pause, 2 faster taps. Pause. Then a long dragging sound like something heavy was pulling itself across the concrete floor inside. I felt watched. Not by a person, by something that understood I was afraid. During my 3 a.m. round, I passed the hallway again. Every light above Unit 47 was flickering. Every other light in the building was fine. Just those 3, buzzing, pulsing, stuttering like a dying heartbeat. When I stepped close, the lights stopped flickering. Everything went silent, completely silent. No scratching, no buzzing, no hum of electricity. It felt like the entire hallway was waiting for me to breathe, waiting for me to open that door. I leaned down, trying to listen, when a cold rush of air blew out from under the door. Storage units don't have airflow, but this one exhaled. I stumbled back, my heart pounding, and that's when I saw it. A shadow moved inside the unit, not fast, not sudden, just a large, slow shape sliding across the floor behind the metal door. But the lock was still sealed. I should have called someone. My manager. The police. Anyone. Instead, I told myself I was tired. Seeing things. Hearing things. The night shift can do that to you. But then the security cameras made everything impossible to ignore. Around 4:12 a.m., I heard a soft beep from the office computer. Motion detected. Camera 06, hallway C. The hallway with Unit 47. I pulled up the feed. The hallway was empty, dead empty, but the motion sensor kept triggering. Every few seconds, the camera flashed again. Motion detected, motion detected, motion detected. Yet nothing moved. I rewound the clip, slowed it down, and that's when I saw it. The door of Unit 47 bulged. Not like it was hit. Not like someone pushed from inside. It stretched, just slightly. as if something inside leaned against it and pressed its full weight forward. Metal doesn't bend like that without force. Whatever was behind that door was strong, too strong. Then the doorknob began to twist, slow, creaking, inch by inch, like fingers were wrapping around it from inside. But remember, the unit was locked from the outside. My breath caught in my throat. I watched the knob twitch again, another fraction of a turn. Then the camera feed cut to static. When it came back, the hallway was normal. Door still locked. Nothing inside trying to get out, but I couldn't unsee that hand-shaped twist. Around 5 a.m., I checked the records for the unit's renter. Something had been bothering me about the name, M. Dunford. I typed it into our system. Only one file showed up. The rent was paid automatically each month from the same bank account, but the account holder had been dead for 8 years. The obituary was still online. Cause of death? Found deceased in residence, autopsy inconclusive. No next of kin. No closure. No explanation. I felt a chill crawl up my back. If Mr. Dunford was dead, who or what was paying for Unit 47? The cleaning crew. A week after the noises started, one of the morning cleaners quit without notice. He wouldn't tell anyone why, but before he left, he muttered something that sent a shiver into my bones. Something in there whispers through the metal. He wouldn't go near the hallway again, wouldn't talk to management, just walked out and never came back. His replacement barely lasted 3 days. She said she felt hands brushing the back of her neck whenever she swept near Unit 47. Cold, thin fingers pressing lightly against her skin. By then, I was barely sleeping. Every shift felt heavier, longer, like the building was breathing in sync with me. And yet, I still hadn't seen what was inside, but that changed on my last night. It was a stormy night, the kind where lightning flashes so bright it turns the world white for a second. The metal hallways echoed with every rumble. Around 2:40 a.m., the power went out. Total blackout. Even the emergency lights failed. Only my flashlight cut through the darkness. As I stepped into the hallway toward Unit 47, the beam flickered weakly. The air felt thick, like walking underwater. The cold was deeper than normal, and almost unnatural. And then I heard it again. The scratching. But this time it wasn't cautious. It wasn't slow. It was frantic. Aggressive. Something was clawing at the door from the inside. Hard enough to rattle the lock, and then the lock snapped. The padlock hit the ground with a loud metallic clang that echoed through the whole hallway. My breath froze in my chest. I lifted my flashlight with shaking hands. The door to Unit 47 slowly rolled upward. Not all the way. Just high enough for me to see inside, and for the first time, it looked back at me. Two pale hands, unhumanly thin, reached out from the darkness, fingers too long, skin stretched tight, movement slow and controlled like it was testing the air. My body locked in place. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I felt a pressure inside my chest like the thing was staring straight through me. Then it spoke, a voice so faint, so broken, I almost didn't hear it. Cold, still, alive. The words weren't a threat. They were a hunger. The door jerked higher. The hands extended further. Something large shifted behind them. Something misshapen, hunched, crawling toward the opening. That snapped me out of my trance. I ran. I don't remember my legs moving. I don't remember breathing. I just remember the feeling that if I looked back, it would already be behind me. I reached the office, slammed the door, locked it, and called 911. The line rang once, then went silent. Not dead. Just silent. Like someone had picked up but refused to speak. I hung up and tried again. Same thing. Someone listening, not answering. A faint sound whispered through the phone speaker. Still. Alive? I threw the phone across the room and backed into the corner. For the next 20 minutes, I heard footsteps outside the office, slow, dragging, pausing right in front of the door, breathing, shallow and cold, through the metal. I stayed frozen until the sun rose. When I finally opened the door, the hallway was empty. Unit 47 was shut again, lock on the floor. Whatever came out had gone back in. I quit that morning. Didn't even wait for my manager to arrive. I left the keys on the desk and walked out. 3 days later, the facility shut down that entire hallway without explanation. New locks, new security, no customers allowed near it. Unit 47 is still listed as active, still paid for, still untouched. Sometimes I check the payment logs online. Somehow, the rent continues every month. Same account, same dead owner. And every now and then, I get a phone call late at night from an unknown number. When I answer, there's no voice, just that cold whisper breathing on the other end. Alive? I don't know what's in Unit 47. I don't want to know. But I know one thing. It wasn't trapped. It was waiting. And the night I heard it, it finally decided to move.